Welcome to the channel. It's 9th edition 40k. Just like Eggers Canyon back home. That doesn't count. Today on the channel we introduce for the first time my Loyalist Space Marine chapter, the Shadows of Ultramar. For a while now I have been building up a small Space Marine force and I've just about got a playable small army. It's going to be 1,250 points. Space Marines versus Orcs. I will in another video do an army showcase when I've got a bit more to show, to explain the name of the chapter, why they have the colours that they do and why they do not have much in the way of insignia. So that's all to come. For today's perspective, this is one of the first ever engagements during the Indomitus Crusade. They've been newly created. They have been training under the auspices of a Raven Guard successor chapter, but their gene seed is very much that of Guilliman. But again, more of their background as and when I get round to doing that video. But for today's purposes, we're going to be playing Open War. It will be a defense of this Imperial installation on this planet. The Space Marines will be deployed on this side of the battlefield in Dawn of War deployment, and then the Orcs on this side. There are 6 objectives on the table, a couple out here, and the rest dotted around the installation. These cards have been randomly selected for the game, so that's the deployment zone. The objective is Domination. It's one of my favourites. Basically, you get a victory point if you are on more objectives than your opponent at the end of a battle round, and you get another victory point if you destroy more enemy units than your opponent in that battle round. So fairly simple. And then the twist is Hatred. When making an attack against the closest enemy unit, reroll a wound roll of 1. Okay, we're going to treat the terrain obviously as dense cover for the gantries, so that would be -1 to hit any unit that's entirely on that terrain. The woods will be difficult ground, but also again dense cover, so that would be -1 to hit. Okay, let's go have a look at the armies. And here we have the Space Marine army. It is a battalion. Their chapter trait is a combination of Master Artisans and Bolter Fusillades. So Master Artisan means they can reroll 1 hit roll in the fight phase or the shooting phase. And the Bolter Fusillades means that it can reroll hit rolls of 1 in the shooting phase for any bolt weapon. So yeah, bolt rifles, anything with the word bolt in it effectively. So, and it does include the aggressors, the Boltstorm aggressors. Where are they? Yeah, no, these ones, the Boltstorm aggressors as well. So hopefully lots of rerolls, so their firepower will be fairly accurate. So none of the characters have yet been named. They haven't made a name for themselves in combat yet, but the army is led by a captain, Primaris captain, and he is the warlord. He's armed with the mastercrafted power sword and a mastercrafted auto bolt rifle. His warlord trait is the Imperium sword, which basically means if he charges or heroically intervenes, he gets +1 strength and +1 attack. The relic he has is the armor Indomitus, which gives him a +1 save, so a 2-up save, and then once per phase he can activate it and give himself a 3-up invulnerable save. Otherwise, he's on a 4-up invulnerable. Second slot is the Primaris Lieutenant. He has also got a mastercrafted power sword, a storm shield which gives him a 4-up invulnerable save, and +1 to his armor save generally as well, so he's on a 2-up as well. The captain, as you probably know, has a bubble, which means core units can reroll hit rolls of 1 at 6 inches with him. The lieutenant has a bubble, which core units means they can reroll wound rolls of 1 within 6 inches of him. Third HQ slot Well, possibly he might be an elite. Anyway, but he is the apothecary, Primaris apothecary. I've spent a command point. Well, I spent 35 points to make him into a chief apothecary, and that enables him to take a warlord trait. And I've spent a command point on hero of the chapter to give him the warlord trait, selfless healer. That basically means he is 0 command points for him to pick up infantry models into a unit. There's a lot of infantry here, so I'm hoping that would be quite a useful stratagem. And it's free now, so hopefully he'll be able to pay for his points. It does mean he can also use his combat restoratives twice as well, so he can heal twice. Okay, so troop slots wise, focus, we've got 2 squads of intercessors with bolt rifles. I've got a squad of 8 assault intercessors with heavy bolt pistols and Astartes chainswords. I've only got 8 because that's how many I've got painted at the moment. More to come. Then I've got 2 squads of 3 aggressors. I've got the bolt storm aggressors, and on the other side I've got the flamestorm aggressors. And then finally a Redemptor Dreadnought. He is armed with the Macro Plasma Incinerator, the Icarus Rocket Pod. He's got Storm Bolters in his front chassis. And what else has he got? Blah 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 blah. And he's also got the Onslaught Gatling Cannon. So I've taken the Macro Plasma Incinerator just to give the army a bit of anti-tank. Okay. This is the first time I've used this army, first time I've tackled it, so I'm bound to make a number of errors. But there you go. Let's go have a look at the Orcs. And here we have the Orc Army. It's a battalion, and on this occasion we're going to be running the clan trait as the Goths. So their clan trait is no mucking about, which basically means if they natural 6s score an additional hit in the assault phase, in the melee phase, and they get +1 strength if they charge or heroically intervene. So all orcs are pretty choppy in combat. Goths are the choppiest, and you combine that with the War, which the War Boss can sound, and they get +1 attacks as well, and can advance and charge if they are core or characters. So yeah, they can get into your face quite quickly, and when they do, they can be very painful. The question is, how many can you kill on the way in? So what have we got? We've got the War Boss with he's a tack squig. He's armed with Da Killer Claw, which is a shiny gubbins, a relic. That is a non-unwieldy power claw, and does flat 3 damage. He's got a combi rocket launcher, and what else has he got? He's got the warlord trait brutal but cunning, which basically means that if any of his attacks fail to inflict damage, gets the inflict damage stage, then you can re-roll those attacks after you've concluded his initial attacks. So yeah, he's a complete beat stick, and he's pretty tough, and can tear quite a few Space Marines apart if he gets into combat. Now, also, second HQ slot is the Big Mech with the custom force field, and then he's supported by the Pain Boy, who's an elite's choice. There's lots of boys here, so the idea is that the Pain Boy and the custom force field work together to try and protect them as best they can as they charge into combat. So hopefully enough will survive. So I've got 2 squads of Slugger Chopper Boys. The knob in each squad of 15 has a Power Claw. Got a mob of 20 Shooter Boys, the knob with a standard Slugger and Chopper. And then in the elite slots, I've got 6 Mega Knobs, 3 of which are armed with Power Claws and Combi Rockets, and the other 3 are armed with twin Power Saws. Then Death Dread with 4 Dread Claws. So far not been that effective, but I still have hopes that one day you will do quite well. And then just to give me a little bit of Dakka, because there's virtually none in the army otherwise, there's a couple of buggies here. There's the Shock Jump Dragster, which has a pretty good anti-tank, strength 8. I think it's -2 d6 damage weapon. And then the Megatrat Scrapjet also has pretty good strength 8 weapons, 3d3 shots on it, plus the wing missiles. And it can also do damage when it charges in with its spinny drill head. Okay, yeah, so basically a pretty get in your face goth army with a little bit of dagger just to balance it out, but mostly it's coming straight one way without any mucking about. Okay, let's go and have a look at deployment. Okay, and here we are at the end of deployment. Let's talk about the objectives first. Most are dotted around the installation, but there are a couple on the outskirts here. One by the Space Marine lines, the second one a bit more closer to the middle, but on the Orc side. Then in the installation, objective on top of that gantry, one objective in the middle, and then on the outskirts, got one in front of the Orcs there, and then finally one on this flank. So let's talk about deployment. Let's do the Orcs first. There's a large mob, or 2 mobs of 15 slugger chopper boys surrounding the war boss, the pain boy, and the big mech with custom force field, supported by the mega knobs in the backfield. Mr. Tickle is on this flank. There's not much in the way of anti-tank in the Space Marine army, so he may be a problem for them. Further along the battle lines, we've got the shooter boys, 20 shooter boys, and then the Megatrat Scrapjet and the Shock Jump Dragster. From the Space Marines, the 2 squads of aggressors are on this flank. Then castling up in the middle, really, we've got the Dreadnought, the squad of 10 intercessors here. I'll then split the other squad of intercessors into combat squads, so 1 on this gantry and another 5 on this flank. The assault intercessors there, and the lieutenant, chief apothecary, and captain. Okay, let's go see who's going to go first. That's blue for Space Marines, and the Space Marines have 1 roll. And I think they're going to let the Orcs go first, let them come onto their gun line, and then pounce on the objectives as we go into Orc turn 1. Okay, here we are at the end of the movement phase for Orcs turn 1. They gained a command point, but had to spend a command point to re-roll the advance roll on the Death Dread, so he is a good 12 inches up the table. Not great advance rolls, to be honest, from the Orcs. Shuffling forward, maybe a little bit concerned about the gun line from the beakies in front of them. The shooter boys did get a good advance roll. I've started to clamber on top of that objective, and then the buggies is coming around, not getting too far advanced. I didn't want to get a counter charge with those power fist wielding aggressors. Because most of the Orc Army has charged, not much in the way of shooting, and there's no psychos on this table at all. But let's go into the shooting phase now, and we're going to open up with the Shock Jump Dragster. It's going to put all its weapons into the Redemptor Dreadnought. Okay, starting with the rifle, hitting on freeze because it's shot by the targeting squid. Getting 1 hit, wounding on freeze, strength 8, toughness 7. Wounds, it's -3, so 6 up save. Doesn't save, d6 damage for 1. Go on then, command point reroll. Missed it. Still 1. God say no. And then the rockets are d3 for 1 shot and misses. Okay, the Megatrat Scrapjet just about out of range for its rocket cannon against the Dreadnought, so we are going to go into the Flamestorm aggressors with everything. Okay, rocket cannon, 3d3 shots for 5. Hitting on 5s because they're an Orc, getting 1 hit, Wounding on 3s, strength 8. Does wound, it's -3, so 6 up save. No, that's flat 3 damage. That's going to kill one. Okay, the wing missile misses. Okay, 2 twin big shooters, just about out of optimum Daka range, so only 12 shots. The blue dice are the ones fired by the Grot Gunner, which is hitting on 4s. 4 hits, strength 5, toughness 5, 4s to wound. 2 wounds, 2 free up AP- saves. Takes a wound. Okay, and that's the end of a quite lackluster shooting phase for the Orcs. 1 dead aggressor, and the Dreadnought has been tickled. There will be no charges, so that will be the end of Orc turn 1. The Orcs are on 3 of the 6 objectives, so in order to stop the Orcs scoring 1 victory point at least for holding more objectives than the enemy, Space Marines are going to have to think about getting on the other 3 or taking 1 away from the Orcs, but I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, let's go into Space Marines turn 1. Okay, here we are at the end of the movement phase turn 1 for the Shadows of Macragge. Now, a couple of housekeeping points. The Dreadnought suffered an additional wound because if you roll a natural 6 to wound with the shock jump dragster rifle, it causes an additional mortal wound. So he's actually taken 2 wounds down to 11. And I forgot about the hatred thing. The twist, the Megatrat Scrapjet was firing at the nearest enemy, and he did roll a 1 to wound, so I re-rolled that off camera, scored a 4, and then the Space Marine failed his free up save, so 2 wounds have been caused to that aggressor, putting him on 1 left. A cautious advance by the Space Marines, perhaps a little bit of an unfamiliar army, I don't know, but I know that it's likely to be a wild called next turn, which means that these Orcs can advance and charge. So I did think about keeping the Space Marines back, but I think they'll still get charged. So I've advanced the Assault Intercessors up in order to create a bit of a speed bump, just to feed the Orcs that unit and keep the rapid firing intercessors behind them safer. I figured there wasn't much point in going towards the Death Dread, so these guys are going to just have to try and do what they can. Does mean that the Orcs are going to be on more objectives at the end of the battle round, so the Space Marines will need to destroy more units than the Orcs did. The Orcs did not destroy units, so all the Space Marines have to do is destroy 1 Orc unit. And let's start with the Redemptor, who will return fire against the shock jump dragster. Okay, spending a command point on Wisdom of the Ancients, and I'm going to re-roll wound rolls of 1 with that tactical precision because I'm already re-rolling hit rolls of 1 because of the captain. Okay, the plasma incinerator and the Icarus rocket pod are going to go into the buggy. The small arms are going to go into the nearest boys. That'd be the shooter boys. Oh, okay. Shall I overcharge? Yes, let's overcharge. Heavy D6 for 5 shots. Okay, hitting on 3s. Oh, and they all hit. Strength 9, wounding on 3s, toughness 6. Can re-roll 1, well, because of my Master Artisans. Sorry, not Master Artisans, I mean tactical precision, but it didn't work anyway, it still didn't wound. But each of these is flat 3 damage, so that's 12 damage. And don't get ramshackle because it's a strength 9 weapon, so that is a destroyed buggy. Does it blow up? No, it doesn't. And the Icarus rocket pod not doing anything because the target is destroyed. Okay, twin heavy bolters from the Dreadnought into the shooter boy, sitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the captain. 6 hits, wounding on 5s. 6 up saves. 2 boys slain. Onslaught Gatling cannon. I reroll one of them because of Master Artisans. Misses anyway. So 4 hits, strength 5, toughness 5, 4s to wound. 3 wounds, 3 -1s. No, okay, yeah, it's going to be 3 dead. Okay, 2 command points being spent on steady advance on the intercessors here, even though they moved up. They just count as stationary, and they will fire their bolt rifles into the boys under the gantries, hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of the captain. Rerolling the 1s. And because of Master Artisans, rerolling another 1. Wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s because of the lieutenant and lieutenant. I'm British, lieutenant, and also the dreadnought. And these are at -1. 7 wounds getting through, but there is the custom force field protecting that squad. So 6 up invulnerables. No. And then 6 up Painboy shrugs. Manages to keep 1, but that is still 6 boys mown down. Okay, the captain's mastercrafted auto bolt rifle hitting on 2s. Wounding on 5, strength 4. Getting 2 wounds. 6 up saves for the force field. 9, this is damage 2, so the first kills 1, kills the second. Okay, moving along to the squad on the gantries. They are in rapid fire range, so this is in 10 shots into the boys, hitting on 3s. Oh, that's not very good. But I can reroll 1 because of mastercrafted. Wounding on 5s. That's 3 saves, 6 up force field. No, force field's not worked once yet. And then Doc shrugs. Another 3 gets shot. Okay, second squad over here into the Death Dread, hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1 of them because of Master Artisans, and then because of Bolt of Fusillade. And wounding on 5, strength 4, toughness 7. 2 -1 saves. And that's going to pass 1, fail 1. 7 wounds left on the Death Dread. Okay, the Flamestorm aggressors are out of range, but the other lot are going to continue pouring fire into this Orc squad. These are the auto Boltstorm gauntlets hitting on 3s. And because they're bolter weapons, and I've got bolter fusillades, I can reroll those 1s. And because I'm mastercrafted, I can reroll 1 failed hit. Okay, 13 hits, very good. Winning on 5s. Oh dear, only 1 wound getting through the Orc hide. 6 up save. No, it does kill 1. Now the frag storm grenade launchers are blast weapons. There's more than 11 boys there, so they fire a maximum shot 6 each. That's another 18 dice coming in, hitting on 3s. Getting 16 hits. They are strength 4 though, 5s to wound. 6 up saves, sorry, 5 6 up saves, another 4 dead. Okay, as the dust settles, this is quite a strong gun line army I've got for the Space Marines. So the Orcs have taken an absolute pounding as they're coming into the charge. I've got to decide whether to spend 2 command points on Insane Bravery. Don't think it's probably worth it on the 4 remaining in that mob. It's whether I do it on the shooter boys. But this flank is looking pretty weak for the Orcs now. But I don't think having a few more shooter boys around is going to make an awful lot of difference. Hold on. No, I'm not going to spend the command points. So on a 1, these Orcs will hold. No, so 1 flees. And because of combat attrition on 1s or 2s, others will flee. So 3 flee in total. And then these boys will also hold on a 1. No, so 1 will flee. There are 3 left. Although, because of mob rule, there's unbroken mob within 6 inches of them means they only flees on 1s, even though they've taken a good pounding. So another flee, so 2 in total. Okay, and that's the end of battle round 1. The Orcs are on more objectives. They get 1 victory point. The Space Marines have destroyed more units, so they get 1 victory point. It is 1 victory point apiece as we go into Orc turn 2. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a war. Okay, here we are at the end of the movement phase for Orcs turn 2. The war has been sounded as it echoes off the rocks of the canyons, and the Orc boys have come spilling through the gantries here. The effect of the war is that every single Orc unit gains an extra attack characteristic, and core units and characters can advance and charge. So some pretty low advances, unfortunately, for the Orcs. I don't think I rolled higher than a 3 apart from the big mech, but there they are. They've all now advanced to try and get some charges in against the Space Marines. The Death Dread hasn't advanced because it then wouldn't be able to charge, and neither has the Megatrax Scrapjet. The shooter boys are scrambled up onto the cover just to get -1 to hit, as that's a gantry. Right, no psychic phase, of course, so let's go into the shooting phase. Okay, there's sort of a plan. So the rocket cannons and the rockets are going to go into the Dreadnought. You can still see line of sight from the back end. I like to think that as it advanced, it fired its cannons that way. The small arms were going to go into the aggressors, and he's going to try and finish them off with a charge. I think from your perspective, it's probably best they keep pushing forward. If they now camp down on the objectives, they're just going to get blown off them. So they've really got to press the Imperium's lines. So for that reason, the Meganobs haven't advanced because they will fire their rockets under that archway into the Dreadnought. So I'm hoping the combination of those rockets and also the rocket in the shooter boys here will destroy or at least severely damage the Dreadnought. So let's go and do that now. Okay, so the Megatrax Scrapjet is rocket cannons, 3d3 shots into the Dreadnought. That's for 6. So the red dice is the wing missile firing at the same time as it's the same profile. It's hitting on 4s though, so that misses. But that's not too bad spread of hits. That's 4 hits. Strength 8, toughness 7, wounding on 3s. And 3 wounds. -3 saves, so this is 6 ups. No, and each one is flat 3 damage, which becomes 2 damage. So that is 6 damage caused to the Dreadnought. Duty Eternal reducing all damage by 1 for the Dreadnought. So the big shooters into the aggressors in front of them, trying to plink off that last wound. The blue dice fired by the Grot Gunner, hitting on 4s. The Orc misses, the Grot hits, wounding on 4s. Only 1 wound, AP dash, saved. Okay, let's do the Mega Knobs. They've got 3 rockets there, just firing the rocket portion of their weapons. Each fires D3 times. 5 shots, hitting on 5s. Only 1 hit, wounding on 3s. Wounds, 6 up save. No, that's another 2 damage. The Dreadnought is down to 3 wounds. It's beginning to smoke. Right, because it's so badly damaged, I'm going to try and finish it off with the shooter boys. So they're going to put everything into it. So rocket fires first D3 times for 3 shots. Hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on 3s. Wounds, 6 up save. Fails to save. 2 more damage, 1 wound left. Okay, 18-inch range, so they have to fire at the slightly reduced profile. These are the shooter boys, that last wound to try and get off. So they're hitting on 5s. That's not bad. 4 hits for the Orcs. This is a tough bit. 5s to wound. Ah, no wounds at all. The Knobs Slugger was out of range of everything. I think that's the end of the shooting phase. Yes, it is. 1 wound left on that dreadnought. Unfortunately, the orcs have run out of gum. Okay, charges, multiple charges. The Death Dread into the intercessors, the Orc boys into the assault intercessors. Along, I'll declare the Orc characters in the back. I don't think they're going to get in, but we'll see as well. Into the same unit, intercessors. These 2 boys are going to go into this intercessors, just to hopefully tie them up a bit. And I wasn't planning to, but I'm going to try and long bomb 11-inch charge the Orcs on top of there into that dreadnought, just to try and plink that last wound off. And then of course the Megatrat Scrapjet into the aggressors. Now who's going to Overwatch? I think I might hold on. Right, it's tempting to do the Flamestorm aggressors, but they won't destroy the Megatrat Scrapjet and it doesn't degrade, so I don't think there's much point there. Now, I'm going to spend a command point on these guys to Overwatch, because they could possibly destroy those last 2 Orcs and prevent them being charged. So let's do that now. Okay, 6s. Rerolling 1s because of Bolt of Discipline. With the rerolls, 4 hits, wounding on 5s. Only 1 wound, 6 up save. No, and then the... yeah, Pain Boy is well out of range, so that kills the... last remaining boy, only the knob left. Okay, 2 command points being spent on ramming speed. Not that I need to, because the distance is so short, but I want to get the extra mortal wounds caused, because that one's only on 1 wound. And what I want to try and kill it with the drill and the ramming speed coming in, without having to worry about hitting on 4s, and may not kill the last Space Marine, and it's got 2 power fists, which could be quite painful. Okay, so let's do that now on my 3d6. Even if I triple I 1'd it, it's in. So on a 2 up, it does more D3 mortal wounds. Yes, does D3 mortal wounds for 3. So it's going to kill that Marine and put that Marine last on 1 wound. Then on a 4 up, it does more mortal wounds because of its drill. No, it doesn't. So he's going to have to try and plink the last wound off in actual combat. Right, let's do this long bomb charge, 11 inches to the dreadnought from the shooter boys. And that's a fail. I can reroll because of here we go. And that still fails. Now they stay where they are. Okay. The dreadnought lives. Okay, boys into the assault intercessors. 7, that's going to be him. Okay, let's do the lonely knob. See if we can get into the other squad of boys. I haven't measured it out. I probably need a 6 or 7. That's a 5. Which is a fail. I need a 7. Here we go. And that's a 10, so that does get in. Okay, the boss, war boss even, needs to get an 11-inch, sorry, 10-inch slingshot within an inch of this Marine here, because his boys have got in the way. Let's see if he gets in. No, that's a fail. Used to be able to reroll any one of those dice, now I have to pick up both. And that's an 8, so that does fail. He doesn't quite get in, the boys get in the way. Probably won't be able to make it with the big mech. Let's see, I need a double 6, I think. That's a fail. Here we go. No, he doesn't get in either. And then finally, Mr. Tickles. 7, I think that's him. Yes, just about places in within an inch of the front rank. Okay, let's go to the fight phase. Space Marines do have enough in the tank to interrupt. They've got 4 command points left, so I'm going to have to... I think I'll have to activate the boys first, otherwise those assault intercessors could probably mess them up quite badly. Does mean that potentially I might get power fisted in the Megatrat Scrapjet fight over there, but there we go. Or indeed, possibly they could slay that one knob, but I'm not too bothered about that. So let's go for the Orc boys first. So the knob has 3 attacks base, +1 because the war has been sounded, and he will hit on 4s with his unwieldy power claw. Because he's a goth, any 6s will be additional hits. Ow! So that's 3 additional hits. Oh my goodness. He's going to be wounding strength 10, so 2s to wound. Now, I've just checked the text of hatred. It says making an attack into closest enemy unit. So I guess it still counts in melee. So he can reroll that 1. Strength 12, in fact, because he's a goth on the charge. So yeah, they all wound. Ouch. I didn't play transhuman on him, not thinking that the knob would do so much damage, but I think all those 4-ups anyway wouldn't have made any difference. These are 6-up saves at -3, each doing flat 2 damage, and so therefore killing a marine. And mistakes have been made. I'm just over 3 inches away from the apothecary, so 6 assault intercessors have been slain by the knob alone. Okay, 7 boys are either in base to base or within an inch of a base, even if there's only 2 left. So it's 28 dice, 4 attacks each. Once the 6s were added back to the pot, there was 29 hits, wounding on 4s, -1 save. The assault intercessors have been annihilated with ease by the boys. Right, I was going to interrupt with this aggressor to try and destroy the Megatrat scrapjet, but I think these aggressors would be able to destroy the Megatrat scrapjet anyway. And I'm a bit worried because that knob in the other boys unit killed so many intercessors. I don't have the same thing happen here, so I'm actually going to interrupt in this squad here and attack back. And with shock assault and hatred, they do easily dispatch that knob. Okay, the Death Dread has 3 attacks base, +1 for the War, and he's got 4 Dread Claws, so 8 attacks in total, hitting on 3s. And wounding on 2s. And because of hatred, I can move a 1-1. So that is 4. -3 fat 3, so 6 ups. Maybe I should have done transhuman. I forgot. It's too late now. Damn it. So that's 4, leaving only the sergeant left. Actually, there's no sergeant in this squad anyway, just leaving 1 marine left. Okay, I checked the footage, and I was always planning to do transhuman on them, so I've allowed my orc player has allowed my space marine player to have done that. So I got 2 wounds on a 4-up, and so 2 6-up saves, and that does kill 2, so there are in fact 3 space marines left. Okay, 4 attack space for the Megatrat scrapjet, +1 for War, hitting on 4s with the nose drill. Only 1 hit. Oh dear. Wounding on +2 strength, so freeze to wound, strength 6. Can reroll 1 because of hatred. Does wound, -2 D3 damage, so 5-up save or death. Death. There's a command point. No, I won't command point reroll. He does destroy the last aggressor. And consolidates onto the objective. Attacks back from the intercessors did no damage against the Death Dread, and that's the end of the combat phase and Orc turn 2. That was the Orc suddenly in a much stronger position, having shattered the assault intercessors and destroyed the aggressors, the Flamestorm aggressors. I don't think I have any morales to test because the Orcs here were destroyed. So I think I'm going to go into Space Marines turn 2. And now the tactical doctrine is in effect. Okay, let's start with the Lieutenant Neo-Volkite pistol into the boys down below. Pistol 2 hits only once. Wounding on 4, strength 4, toughness 4, doesn't wound. Sorry, strength 5, toughness 5, doesn't wound. Okay, one of the Marines will throw a frag grenade from this squad into the boys below. It's blast. There are more than 11 there, so it'll fire it 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hitting on 3s. And scoring 4 hits, strength 3, toughness 5, so 5s to wound. And 1 wound. AP dash, a 6-up save. Saved. Okay. Rapid fire bolt rifles, 3s. And then 5s, rerolling 1s because of the Lieutenant. So that is 3 saves at -1, so that's 3 dead. Absolver pistol from the apothecary. That's a bit cocked. Hits, strength 5, toughness 5, 4s. Doesn't wound because of hatred. They are the nearest enemy, so I can re-roll that. And it does wound and kill an orc. The unfortunately Pain Boy and Force Field for not helping out too far away. Okay, mastercrafted auto bolt rifle from the captain. Hitting on 2s, wounding on 5s, and that's going to kill an orc because the tactical doctrine is in effect. Okay, let's do the Dreadnought again. I'm going to spend a command point on Wisdom of the Ancients, on Tactical Precision Aura to reroll wound rolls of 1. And he's going to put his Icarus Rocket Pod and the Macro Plasma Incinerator firing at standard, because I don't want to destroy myself, into the War Boss. The Onslaught Gatling Cannon and the Storm Bolters are going to go into this squad of boys. So let's do the Plasma Accelerator. Heavy D6 for 3 shots. Hitting on 5s with only 1 wound left. And he gets 2 hits. Can't reroll a 1. Actually, I can, just about within 6 inches of that captain. So let's do that. Misses anyway. So 2 hits, strength 8, toughness 6 for an Orc War Boss, 3s to wound. Can reroll 1s because of the hatred or aura he's just done, but still doesn't wound. It's -4 flat 2, so he's got hard as nails, invulnerable save of 5 or up. No, so the War Boss takes 2 wounds. Icarus Pod, D3 shots, 1 shot hitting on 5s, misses. Pain Boy is within 3 inches of that War Boss, so I'll just see if he shrugs those wounds. No, he doesn't. So, Storm Bolters into the boys. Now, this suddenly occurs to me, they hitting on 6s because it's -1 hit because of the dense cover. But it still means it gets 3 hits. 5s to wound. 2 wounds. And that's 2 dead orcs because they're in the tactical doctrine. Onslaught Gatling Cannon hitting on 6s because of the cover. Misses. Okay, the aggressor's going to put everything into this squad just to finish them off. So this is the Bolt Storm, Auto Bolt Storm Gauntlets, hitting on 4s because of the cover. And I can reroll 1 of them because of Master Artisans. And I can reroll 1s because these are bolster weapons. 5s to wound. Every wound will go through the armour, so I'm looking to get 4 wounds through to kill the squad. And there we go, there's 4, 5. The squad is destroyed, and the rest of the Frag Storm grenade launchers just impacting the corpses. Okay, the squad of intercessors is going to empty everything into that final squad of Orc boys, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s because of the captain, and rerolling 1 because of Master Artisans. Wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s because of Wisdom of the Ancients. Just as well, there's quite a few 1s there. 5 1s. 7 wounds, leaving only 3 boys left. I just noticed a couple of boys were actually were hidden under there, so I've added them into the mix. So 7 wounds caused, 3 boys left. Right. Now, do I charge? At the moment, we've destroyed 2 units apiece. So in order to get the victory point, I can still do it here. Hold on. Yeah, not sure what to do here. If I charge the intercessors in, they should probably kill those boys. And then I'll be on that objective, which actually means I'll be on 1 objective. And if these aggressors take that off the orcs, then in fact we'd be on 2 objectives. In fact, no, because I've shot those orcs off there. I'd actually get a victory point for scoring. But if I do put intercessors in, then there's 3 orc characters there that I can make complete mincemeat of them. plus the Meganol's behind them. So I'll be feeding that unit. And so I think I'm going to declare a charge with the lieutenant. I haven't measured it. He's got to get down and across. And I'm definitely going to declare a charge here. Is York going to overwatch? And screw it, I'm going to also declare a charge with the captain. He's got the armor Indomitus, so I'm hoping if he gets in, kills those orcs, get counter-charged by the war boss. He's slightly injured, with 4 wounds left. Then with the armor Indomitus, I'm hoping he could probably survive. Okay, let's do that then. So Megatrak Scrapjet will overwatch. So 3d3 shots with the cannons for 7. I've added the wing missiles in as its same weapon profile. 2 hits. Ouch. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. Uh-oh. 5 ups or death. These are flat 3 damage. Oh dear, it's gone a bit wrong for the Space Marines here. I don't think one aggressor is going to take out that buggy in one combat round. So I think I'm going to have to try and command point reroll a save, putting me down to, I think, to 2 command points. No. And I still haven't done the big shooters. Okay, each big shooter fires 10 times at this range. The blue dice are... Oh, they're all hitting on 6s. Ignore me. It's an Overwatch shot. 5 hits. 5 4s to wound. Oh my goodness. AP dash, so 3 up armor saves on the remaining aggressor. And he's only on 1 wound left. Wow, what a storm of fire coming from the Megatrak Scrapjet as he mows down 2 of them. Okay, the lone aggressor on 1 wound, making it into combat. So did the lieutenant, leaping down from the gantry and charging in. The captain failed his charge, rolling a 4, and I don't have really enough command points to do anything about that. Now he's a bit of a quandary. I should really activate the lieutenant first because there's a knob of a power claw and the wire is still in effect. But the orcs do have command points to spare, and an interrupt here could quite easily kill that aggressor. But I don't think one aggressor is going to destroy the Megatrak Scrapjet, so I'm going to activate the lieutenant first, I think. Ooh, focus. Okay, 4 attacks base, +1 for shock assault, hitting on 2s. Mastercrafted power sword, +1 to his strength, so strength 5, so wounding on 4s, in fact killing on 4s. And he slays 2. Can reroll 1 because of hatred. And he slays all 3 of them because it's flat 2 damage, fortunately for that lieutenant. And in fact, taking that objective off the orcs means they're on 1 apiece, because this at the moment is contested. Okay, the orc is going to spend 2 command points to interrupt because the aggressor sergeant that's left with shock assault could actually still kill that, I think. So you better try and get in there before he does that. So 5 attacks with the war still ongoing, hitting on 4s. And getting 2 hits, but it's actually 4 hits because of the Goth clan. Winning on 3s. Reroll 1s because of hatred, or A1 because of hatred. And now these are 5s up or deaths. No, I thought you might do it, but no, he does succumb. And he consolidates onto the objective. The lieutenant will stay where he is. There's no point advancing towards that angry war boss. And that's the end of the Space Marines turn 2. No morale test to make. Unfortunately, well, for the Space Marines perspective, the Orcs are now on 2 objectives, while Space Marines are only on 1. So at the end of battle round 2, it's another victory point apiece. It's 2 to the Orcs, 2 to the Space Marines, as we go into Orcs turn 3. Okay, here we are at the end of turn 3 for the Orcs. The Megatrat Scrapjet sitting on that objective, not being that orky, particularly not very goth-like, but he's got a good line of fire, and I reckon he'll just be happy to blow away the Yumis in front of him. Other than that, the Orcs are Meganobs shuffling at 4 inches forward, and the Warboss and his Doc have come in there to try and take the fight to the Space Marines. I'm undenied as to whether the Death Dread should be able to fit through that gap. It technically didn't quite fit because of his wide arms, but I figured it would just pick up the canisters and chuck them out of the way. So I have allowed him to get through that gap, even if it does mean that those intercessors are now almost certainly dead. It's in narrative sense. Right, at the end of the movement phase, the Doc is going to try and heal the Warboss of his wounds. On a 2-up, D3 wounds are healed. On a 1, he takes a mortal wound, but no, this time, D3 wounds back, 1 back on the Warboss, so he's up to 5. Only other thing is the Big Mech has been ordered to get back onto that objective to try and outscore the Space Marines for holding the objectives. Okay, let's go to the shooting phase. I think the Warboss is going to try and finish off the Dreadnought. So he just fire his rocket D3 shots for 1, and he hits, wounding on 3s. Doesn't wound, can't use hatred because he's not the nearest enemy. Okay, the Megatrat Scrapjet will put his wing missile into the Dreadnought and his big shooters into the Dreadnought to try and plink that last wound. The rocket cannons are going to go into the intercessors. So let's do the intercessors first. How many shots? Only 4 shots this time. And hitting on 5s. 1 hit, wounding on 2, strength 8. Wounds, -2, so 5-up saves. Saved. Okay, the wing missile will hit on 4 because it's fired at a vehicle but misses. Big shooters, blue dice are fired by the grot, hitting on 4s. 5s to wound. 4 3-up saves. Saved. The Dreadnought lives for the time being. The Meganobs are going to have to do it because that's the only last guns left. So they'll just fire their rockets. There are 3 rockets in there, so 3 shots for 5 shots, hitting on 5s, scoring 2 hits, wounding on 3s. Can't use hatred because it's not nearest, so only 1 gets through. 5-up, save or death. And that's a destroyed Dreadnought unless I command point reroll. Do you know what? As it's the last guns of the Orc shooting phase, I'm going to command point reroll that for the Space Marine. No. Does it blow? No. The sarcophagus just ejects and is recovered later. Okay, the Pain Boy is going to go into the Lieutenant, and so are the Meganobs. It's a 10-inch charge, but you never know. But the Warboss is going to have a crack at the this undamaged squad of intercessors. So let's do the Warboss first. It's an 8-inch charge. Oh, it's a 7. Here we go. And he's in. Okay, the Pain Boy is also in. Let's see if the Meganobs get in. That's a 6, so that's a failed charge. Here we go, reroll. No, the Meganobs stay where they are. And that's how they end up at the charge. The Pain Boy cunningly keeping within 3 inches of the Warboss. Oh, and of course this is an auto in. I'm not going to bother overwatching. Unless I'd want to do it with the intercessors. No, I've got 2 command points left, and I've actually got 3 command points. But I'll keep them for interrupting, I think. Okay, so the Warboss is going to attack first. 6 attacks with the War still in effect. On the turn after the wire is caused, you still get +1 attacks, but you can't advance and charge. Hitting on 2s with the non-unwieldy power claw. And 2 smackers, so there's actually gets all his hits in, wounding on 2s. And -3, so 6 up saves. No. As it's fat free, I'll do the apothecary saves off camera and roll 3 dice for each marine. Okay, he does kill all 5 because 2 of his attacks either fail to hit or fail to wound. He can re-roll them again. It's a brutal but cunning. Hits once, wounds, and again a 6 up save. Oh, saved. I don't think you can re-roll the failed hits. You get extra hits with smacker. Right, okay, so he's killed 5 of these marines. I did think about transhumaning them, but then I wouldn't be able to interrupt. So I don't know if that's the right decision, but that's what's happened. But I think I will interrupt now with the lieutenant, see if I can kill the pain boy. Okay, Primaris Lieutenant, hitting on 2s, 5 attacks with shock assault. And he is wounding on 4s, strength 5, toughness. 1 gets through. You can reroll 1 because of hatred. So 2 get through. And that's 4 wounds, which will kill him unless he shrugs at least 1 of them on 6s. No. And that lieutenant is beginning to make a name for himself, I think. And the Death Dread annihilating the last 3 of those intercessors. Should say that this attack squig did put a wound on 1 of the intercessors as well. And that's the end of Orc turn 3. Need a morale check here. They lost 5. Leadership is 8 with the sergeant. And they hold. Does have to do the attacks back actually. They will pile in and attack the war boss back. Hitting on 3s. Good spread of hits there. Doing better in assault than the assault intercessors. 5s to wound though. And reroll 1s because of the lieutenant. Good job, because there's quite a few 1s. Bit of a disappointing wound roll. Only 3 getting through. I think they're 4 up saves for. Oh god. That's definitely 3 get through. So the war boss is only on 2 wounds. He's lost his pain boy. Okay, it's the end of Orc turn 3. The Orcs destroyed the Dreadnought and the 5-man squad of intercessors over there, but lost the pain boy. So the Space Marines need to kill 1 more unit and 2 to get in the lead. I think the war boss is the key here as we go into Space Marines turn 3. Okay, here we are at the end of movement phase for the Space Marines turn 3. We are staying in the tactical doctrine. The apothecary has healed the wounded intercessor and picked 1 up using combat revival, which is 0 command points because he is the chief apothecary. Right, let's go into the shooting phase. Well, let's see if the intercessors can finish off the war boss with their pistols. 3s to hit. Rerolling 1s because of the captain. 5s to wound, strength 4, toughness 6, no wounds. Reroll 1 of them because of hatred. No. Oh, occurs to me I never really talked for the movement phase. There's not much to say. The lieutenant here, he's rather foolhardily perhaps taking on the mega knobs. I'm going to start trying pouring fire into the mega knobs. Not much I can do about the Death Dread, or in fact the Megatret Scrapjet at the time being. It's to try and take out the Mega Knobs and the War Boss, and worry about the War Machines next turn. Okay, so that's the Intercessors done. Okay, absolve a bolt pistol from the Apothecary into the Mega Knobs, which hits, winning on 5s. wounds. 3 up save, -1, saved. Oh, okay, 3 6s. Okay, the Lieutenant's Neo Volkite pistol into the Meganobs, hitting on 2s, getting 2 hits, wounding on 4s. Yeah, strength 5, 4s to wound. Oh, 2 wounds. And an unmodified wound roll of 6 does an additional mortal wound. So that's 2 mortal wounds caused. AP dash though, so 2 up saves. 3rd wound caused. So that lieutenant just slotted a Meganob with his pistol. That's quite good. Okay, the captain with his mastercrafted auto bolt rifle, hitting on 2s and wounding on 5s. 1 wound, 1 -1 because of tactical doctrine, so 3 up saves. No, that's another 2 damage. Okay, I'm spending 2 command points on rapid fire on this intercessor squad to effectively make them fire twice. So I'll do that. So basically they're firing 20 dice. I'll do that in one go because they're all going to put their fire into the Meganobs and they're not going to kill them. So hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of the captain. And rerolling 1 because of Master Artisans. That doesn't seem to ever work. Okay, 5s to wound. That's not looking too bad. Look at that, 9 wounds. Now these are at -2 because the tactical doctrine is in effect. And they're naturally -1. So these are 4 up saves. So that's going to kill that wounded Meganob. And kill another. And wound the wounded 3rd. Okay, charge phase. The lieutenant is going into the Meganobs. The captain and the apothecary is going to go into the war boss. Yeah, the Orc's going to overwatch. There are 3 rocket combi weapons in there, so these are rockets that fire 6 times. And all miss. These are the sheeters. Getting 2 hits. Winning on 4s. AP dash, so because he's got a shield, it'll be 2 up. Yeah, saved. Okay, activating the lieutenant first. He has 5 attacks with shock assault on the charge. Hitting on 2s. The mastercrafted power sword, +1 strength is winning on 4s. -3 flat 2. So these are 5 up saves. And that's going to kill the 1 on 2 wounds and leave one with 1 wound left. Okay, the Orc player spending his last 2 command points to interrupt. The captain has the armor Indomitus, so he's going to put his attacks on the apothecary, hoping to get an easy kill here. Hitting on 2s with the big red power claw. Ooh, it's a couple of 1s. Wounding on 2s. Does wound. Apothecaries don't have an invulnerable save, so this is 6 up power armor. Uh-oh. And that's 12 damage. Sorry, 9 damage. 6 up, feel no pains. Right, gave it a go. He shrugged 4 of them, but still took 5 wounds. That is a slain apothecary. Okay, the Primaris captain has 5 attacks base, +1 for shock assault, +1 for the Imperium sword, and he is hitting on 2s with his power sword. Strength 4, +1 for the power sword, +1 for Imperium sword, so that brings him up to strength 6, which is the same as the Orc's toughness. So 4s to wound, reroll 1 because of hatred. 5 up, hard as nails, invulnerable, and the war boss is taken down by the captain. Okay, the kill source being the blue dice, the power claw Meganobs being the grey dice, hitting on 4s. Oh, that's not that good, is it? Wounding on 2s. Okay, 4 up invulnerable because of the storm shield, and the saw gets through, which is D3 damage for 2. leaving 3 left for the Lieutenant. Now the Mega Knobs started this battle round with 6 models. They're down to 2. They've taken 4. Leadership is 7. So let's see if they break. And they do break on an 8. Nothing the Orcs can do about that. No command points left, so one will flee who's on 1 wound. Because of combat attrition, the remaining Mega Knob will flee on a 1 or 2. Wow. Wow, what a hero this Lieutenant is proving to be in this game. So, the end of battle round 3, the Orcs are still on this objective. And on that objective, that's 2. Space Marines have only got the middle one here. So, the Orcs do score a victory point, making it 3 points to 2. Now, on my reckoning, the Orcs lost their War Boss, the Pain Boy and the Mega Knobs, whilst the Space Marines lost the Dreadnought, the small squad of intercessors over there, and the Apothecary. So nobody's destroyed more units than the other. So it's 3 victory points to 2 in favour of the Orcs as we go into battle round 4. Okay, here we are at the start of Orc turn 4. Both armies have taken a complete pasting. The Orcs have only got 3 miniatures left on the table, so there's not much in the way of tactical options available to them. The big mech has shuffled backwards. I did contemplate a charge, but I'd rather he just stayed on that objective, I think, and yeah. He might as well just stay on the objective. If he charged, he wouldn't be on the objective. You never know, the Lieutenant may fail to kill him. Again, Megatrak Scrapjet staying on that objective, trying to squeeze the Space Marines out on board control, and going to continue to pour fire into the intercessors. The Orc player rolled a 2 in advance for the Death Dread command point, re-rolled it because it's really important. He's really out of position. Rolled a 3, so he's not much closer, but he's got as far as there. There's not much in the Space Marines that can take on the Death Dread, perhaps the Captain. Okay, we've only got 1 thing to shoot, no, 2 things to shoot. The Megatrak Scrapjet will put everything into the intercessors, and Space Marine player using his last command points to... Oh no, it's going to cost him 2 because there's more than 5 there. Can't do it. Okay, I was trying to transhuman, but I don't have enough command points. So these are the rocket cannons. Only 4 shots again. Hitting on 5s. Getting 2 hits. Wounding on 2s. And -2, so it's a 5 ups. No, and that is 2 dead intercessors. Wing missile, misses. Big shooters, blue dice, fired by the grot, hitting on 4s, the rest on 5s. 4 hits for Easter wound. And that'll be 3 free-up saves, power armor. Oh, killing another one. Yeah, Megatrak Scrapjet doing some work in this battle. And that's the... No, it isn't quite the... Big Mech will snap off a shot against the Lieutenant. Big Mechs are the only Orcs that can hit on 4s. And he still misses. With no charges, that's the end of turn 4 for the Orcs as we go into turn 4 for the Space Marines. Got a morale check to make. They lost 3. Leadership 8. They hold. Shooting phase, Neo Volkite pistol to the face, getting 2 hits, wounding on 4s, 1 wound, AP dash, a 4-up save, takes 2 damage. Okay, the Captain will try with his bolt rifle, hitting on 2s, wounding on 5s, no wounds. Okay, the last 3 intercessors here, they did move, so they're only firing once. Their rapid fire weapons hit twice. This is against a big mech, winning on 5s. No. And he's not near his enemy unit, so I can't reroll that 1. And then I think the lieutenant has the orc over there, so these guys are going to rapid fire, start plinking wounds against the Death Dread. 3s, rerolling 1s because of bolter fusillade. They all hit, and 5s to wound. I can reroll 1/1 because of hatred. I'll save at -1. Saved. And I forgot to reroll my Master Artisan's reroll, so I'll do that now. So that does hit. Wounding on a 5, doesn't wound. Okay, the Lieutenant has made it into combat. 4 attacks base, +1 for shock assault. Hitting on 2s. Wounding on 4s. Strength +1 for his master crafted. Power sword, he can reroll 1 because of hatred. So that is just 1 that gets through. Right, it's -3, flats 2. So I'm going to use my 1 command point that I gained to reroll 1 of those wounds. And that does wound. So this is -3. Goes straight through the armor. But I think the custom force field does work in combat now. So I do believe he has a 6-up invulnerable save. No damage caused as he attacks back. 3 attacks base, +1 for using a chopper. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3, strength 5. AP -1s. He's got +1 save because of his shield, so back to 3s. Oh my goodness. He almost fell, but he's got 1 wound left. Okay, at the end of battle round 4, not an awful lot happened. That's contested. The Space Marines have this objective, the Orcs have that objective, so no one has more objectives than the opponent. No one scores, and no one destroyed anything that turn either. I thought the Lieutenant may have the big mech, but he was just a little bit too tough. Right, let's go into battle round 5 as we get to the end game. Okay, here we are at the end of movement phase for Orcs turn 5. Megatron Scrapjets shuffled a little bit forward just to make sure that his 24-inch cannons are definitely in range with the intercessors. The Death Dread coming round the corner quite slowly. It's going to be an 11-inch charge into the intercessors, so probably not going to make it. Now, I did debate whether I should fall back the big mech out of combat, because the Lieutenant will be going first, because defenders go first. But he's got a pistol. It's not very orky, that, and he's got a pistol, so he's going to shoot it instead in his face, hitting on 4s. Oh, he misses. Okay, let's do the Megatron Scrapjet again. Everything into that squad of intercessors. Let's get hopefully a victory point for killing stuff. So, oh dear, only 4 shots again. Hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit, wounding on 2s. Does wound, 5-up save or death. Death. Wing missile misses. Big shooters. 5 hits, 3s to wound. They are the nearest enemy, so I'll re-roll that 1/1. So 3-up saves. 1 is injured. Right, let's see if the Death Dread gets in. It's got to be an 11-inch charge. And here we go, I can re-roll that. No, it's a failed charge. And that is the end of the Orcs turn, apart from the combat. But it is the Lieutenant that gets to go first. No longer got Hateful Assaults, so 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. And, whoops, wounding on 4s. Only 1, but he needs a 6-up save, which he fails. He takes flat 2 damage. The Orc is on 1 wound left. Big Mech attacks back. Oh, I don't know if I did the Goth thing last time, done for rolling 6, but that 6 does convert into another hit, so it does hit 4 times. Wounding on 3, strength 5. They all wound. These are at -1s. 3 up saves because of the shield. And he falls. The hero falls. Okay, at the end of Orc turn 5, they are currently on 2 objective and has killed the lieutenant. So they are going to get 2 victory points, which will end the game 5 points to 2. So the Space Marines can only... Well, let's see what they can do. They need to kill that one wounded big mech to stop him scoring the objective victory point. Right, here's the plan. It's not a very good one, but it's a plan. These Space Marines will come up the gantry. You're going to try and plink the last wound off that big mech, supported by the captain's weapon if he needs to. And that will mean that we've both killed a unit each. No one gets a victory point, and we'll also be on 1 objective each. In order for the Space Marines to outnumber the enemy on the objectives, I need to do an advance roll of 5 or 6 to get within 3 inches of objective number 3. So let's do that now. No. So I will command point reroll. No, they don't quite make it. Okay, let's see if the captain can kill the big mech, hitting on 2s, wounding on 5s, 1 4-up save. He's still alive. Okay, 5-man intercessor squad, hitting on 3s, wounding on 5s. That's looking not too bad at all. 5 -1 saves, 5 up. No, he is slain. So at the end of battle round 5, no one gets a victory point for killing more than their opponent. And no one gets a victory point for being on more objectives, because they're both on 1. 1 there on the captain and 1 there on the Megatrat Scrapjet. So it is a very narrow Orc victory. 3 victory points to 2. Not a very high scoring game. Would have been a draw had I been able to roll a 5 or 6 with the reroll to get them on there. Maybe I should have considered taking the objectives a bit earlier with the Space Marines. Maybe I should have used this squad to come sort of down here and back onto that objective. But there we go. It is a narrow victory for the Orcs, although they've only got 2 models on the table. Space Marines have got a few more, but there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. That's the way the dice fall and drop dice gaming. Yeah, I think sort of from a narrative perspective, I think you could still say that Space Marines have held this installation. However, it is considered a marginal Orc victory because of the cost has been so high. But they've perhaps kept them out of this installation for the time being. Yeah, so this is sceneries from TT Combat. The game mat is from gamemat.eu. I'll put the links in the description. That's the first time I've played with my Space Marines, so any mistakes do apologise for. Yeah, so if you like the battle report, please like and subscribe. And until the next time, happy wargaming. Thank you. Bye.